This right here might be the most brutally honest thing I've read all summer. And the crazy part, he might be right. Because as much as Real Madrid fans are celebrating Mbappe's arrival and performance last season, this comment could be the exact reason Madrid's next era collapses before it even starts. See, on paper, Mbappe and Vinicius should be the deadliest duo football has ever seen. The speed, the skill, the hype. But if you've been paying attention, the signs of a brewing problem are already there. And it all starts with the one thing Real Madrid have always valued more than individual talent: the system. And if football history has shown us one uncomfortable truth, the wrong pairing can kill a dynasty before it's even born. On paper, this should be unfair. Vinicius on the left, Mbappe everywhere else. Add Bellingham to the mix, and suddenly you have 3 jet engines strapped to the same jersey. It should have been the best attack ever assembled in recent years. But last season proved it a different story. Mbappe scored a lot. Madrid shattered scoring charts. The clips were insane. The hype was louder. And yet, 0 trophies. And don't tell me the Super Cup or Club World Cup, who else would have won it? The truth is, last season, Real Madrid choked. 5 brutal losses to Barcelona on the biggest stages. Unimpressive shit shows in the Champions League. We actually broke that collapse down in our last video. The patterns, the warning signs, all of it. Watch that after this one, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the follow-up. But stay with me here, because this is where it gets tricky. Because now you add Xabi Alonso at the helm, a system coach, a structure guy. On paper, it gets even cleaner. Vini stretching one touchline, Mbappe detonating the other. A midfield that feeds chaos on demand. That's what a dynasty looks like. But that's exactly where the problem begins. Because we've seen this script before. All the talent in the world, all the goals in the world, and when it mattered most, it fell apart. To know where this Mbappe-Vinicius problem leads, you don't need a crystal ball, you just need to rewind to Paris. You know the story, the team that, on paper, looked like they had finally cracked the code to winning one trophy that keeps slipping away, the Champions League. What more could they possibly need? Or frankly, what more could the sporting directors could have possibly done? They had Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, a front line that could score 150 goals without breaking a sweat. And they did score, a lot. They humiliated teams in League One. They pulled off jaw-dropping showdowns that reminded everyone why this attack was supposed to terrify Europe. But when it came down to the Champions League, this dream dissolved into finger-pointing, half-hearted pressing from these fiery attackers. This cost PSG a lot, and left defenders stranded like traffic cones. And just like this guy said, the problem was obvious. Too many stars, not enough glue. Nobody wanted to track back. Nobody wanted to press for 90 minutes. And as soon as one piece of the puzzle lost interest, the whole thing collapsed. Sound familiar? Because Madrid might have just built a faster, younger version of that exact problem. Sure, Vini and Mbappe aren't Neymar and Messi. They've got youth, pace, and hunger. But they've also got the same danger signs. Both want to be the alpha, both go full throttle going forward and coast the other way. And if Alonso can't convince them to sacrifice for the team, this dream duo could turn into a nightmare before the season's halfway over. It's the kind of a problem you can't see on a tactics board. On paper, Mbappe and Vinicius are the perfect pairing, lighting down both flanks, lethal in the box, nightmares for any fullback. But in reality, 2 alpha wingers are like 2 apex predators dropped into the same territory. They both want the ball in space. They both want the freedom to roam. They both want to be the guy. And the numbers already whisper the tension. Last season, Mbappe was Madrid's top scorer, but Vini still took more shots from similar positions. When Mbappe drifted left, Vini drifted wider. When Vini cut inside, Mbappe lingered instead of making the decoy run. It's not sabotage, it's human nature. It's human nature to want to be the guy in the big moments. And the crazy part is they both can be the guy. Vini has shown us in the Champions League final. Mbappe has shown us everywhere and the World Cup final. But the danger isn't that they'll fight. The danger is that they'll quietly stop giving each other the runs, the passes, the selfless movement that turns a good attack into an unstoppable one. PSG taught us this. Star players can coexist, but without the humility to share the dirty work, the balance tips. Attackers stop tracking back. Midfielders are left covering 2 channels at once. defenders crack under wave after wave of counterattacks. And right now, Madrid's opponents are watching tape, taking notes, and licking their lips. The first reality check came in the Club World Cup versus PSG. This was the game where the whole dream on paper finally hit a brick wall. Up until this point, Xabi Alonso had everything clicking. He'd integrated guys like Gonzalo Garcia and Arda Güler perfectly into the system. Madrid were pressing as a unit, moving like one body and suffocating teams without even breaking a sweat. And then came the Club World Cup semifinal against PSG. On paper, this was the big flex. Alonso finally had Mbappe ready to unleash, and who wouldn't want that? So he swapped Gonzalo Garcia for Mbappe and Vinícius, but almost immediately the rhythm died. Sure, Mbappe scored that ridiculous bicycle kick, highlight reel stuff, but outside of that, the whole thing fell apart. PSG didn't just beat Madrid, they dismantled them 4-0. And yay, you could point at the defensive mistakes, the early errors from Arsenio and Rudiger, but that wasn't the real problem. The problem was simple. When your attack stops being dangerous, your defense becomes useless. Mbappe and Vinícius would lose the ball and just watch. No tracking back, no pressing, no bite without the ball. PSG saw it, smelled the blood, and went straight for the jugular. They ran circles around Madrid, and by halftime, the game was dead. By full time, it was an embarrassment. And here's the scary part. This wasn't just bad chemistry between two stars. It was something far more dangerous. A flaw so deep, you can see it in the footage if you know where to look. And if Madrid doesn't fix it, the rest of the season is going to look a lot like this game. When Xabi Alonso took over, his Madrid looked like a machine. And you can look to this video for the full explanation. But just to recap again, in Xabi's system, every player has a role, every pass has a purpose, every press must be timed to perfection. And here's the thing about a perfect system, it only works if everyone buys in. And when you drop two megastars like Mbappe and Vinícius into it, suddenly the machine has two parts that run on their own rules. They'll win you games with a single moment of brilliance, but they'll also walk when you need them sprinting. Against PSG, the warning signs were blinding. The press wasn't coordinated. It was Mbappe charging on his own, or Vinícius tracking back halfway and then stopping. In possession, the ball kept funneling to the wings because, let's face it, when you have two Ferraris, you're going to take them out for a spin. But that meant Madrid's midfield, Alonso's real engine room, became passengers. It's the same tactical trap PSG fell into. When the stars switch off, the system collapses. When the system collapses, your defenders are exposed. And when your defenders are exposed, a 4-0 defeat suddenly makes perfect sense. And the worst part, this isn't a problem you can fix with one transfer window, because what's broken isn't just the squad, but something more which we will discuss now. You see, tactics can be tweaked, players can be coached, but culture, that's the part you just can't buy. And Real Madrid's culture has always been built around Galacticos, the biggest stars, the flashiest names, the most marketable players in the world. It's a brand as much as it's a football club, and you can watch this video to see how we dissect the problem fully. The culture works when your stars have the mentality of Cristiano Ronaldo or prime Sergio Ramos, killers who will run through a brick wall for 90 minutes, even if it means tracking back into their own penalty area. But Mbappe and Vinícius, they're wired differently. They grew up in an era where individual brilliance can carry a team on social media, even if it doesn't carry you to a trophy. They can put up numbers and still leave you wondering why the scoreboard says you lost 4-0. And here's the problem Xabi Alonso faces. The culture of the club feeds into the culture of the players. Madrid has always been a place where the attacks get the glory and the defense gets blamed. And if that doesn't change, it won't matter how many goals the Ferraris score, because you can't outrun a broken foundation. And that's why the real danger here isn't just losing a few games. It's that Madrid could be sleepwalking into their own PSG era, one where the trophies disappear, but the chaos, that stays. Just so you know, that fan's comment I showed at the start, yeah, it wasn't just some random hot take. Because if you've been paying attention, if you've connected the dots from PSG's collapse to that Club World Cup warning shot to the culture problem Madrid refuses to fix, it's not hard to see the writing on the wall. Sure, on paper, Mbappe and Vinícius should be unstoppable, but so were Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi, and we all saw how that ended. Madrid could be cruising through La Liga highlights, smashing teams 5-0 on Sunday nights, while quietly losing only the games that matter in Europe. The moments where champions are made, the moments where PSG-style chaos thrives. And here's the twist. This isn't some prophecy about next season. It's already happening. So now the question isn't if this Mbappe-Vinicius pairing will cost Madrid trophies. It's how long before it does again. And I'm not saying I have all the answers, but that comment we started with, that might be the most accurate prediction we've heard all year. What do you think? Is this the start of a dynasty or the start of another PSG? Drop your thoughts below and be ready to argue. While we are at it, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.